Hey guys and welcome to Sarcastic Fish. So today I'm just gonna film a video kind of just on an idea or just something I've kind of been meditating on for the last couple of days. This is my thoughts on missing people. Missing people is something I'm actually very accustomed to in a quite strange way. The entirety of my family, bar like my nuclear family, lives in Belgium and always has. We've almost always lived in England, so it's this weird I don't know what it is for when people are like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go see my grandparents, they live just down the road, or sort of things like that. It was always a much bigger deal when I saw my family. So I've always had like this weird lingering feeling of missing people like in the back of my head. I don't know, I've just never been in a situation really where I haven't had people I have that have been missing to me. And I'm sure obviously everyone kind of has this where you're in a certain situation and there's, you know, there's people who aren't there. But it's weird how my life then has become very sectioned off in certain ways. Like I have my family life, then I have my life of like when I went to school in the town where I lived, and then I have the life of when I boarded, and now I have this life here. So then for me it's very interesting and very strange and very weird when people from like different like of these like sort of almost little isolated universes sort of interact and collide. Like it's very strange to me. For example, one thing that I find very strange is the university my boyfriend goes to, people from my old school also go there, and then people from my primary school also go there. So it's this very strange, oh, and then they met as well, my boyfriend met one of my friends from my old school without me there, and it was just a very weird kind of, this weird interlocking of, ow, son of a, elbow, my funny bone, this isn't funny. But it's just this weird kind of, one of the weirdest things I found for me was when I took Chris to Belgium over the summer and like to Antwerp, and he met my family, and it was just it was like, okay, this is like, because this is one thing, and props to Chris for this, like he's the only person who has like kind of met, what's that? He's the only kind of person I've like let into every like sort of part of my life, because I'm weirdly defensive about it, and I'm not sure if anyone else is like that, but it's like, I'm very defensive about it, and that's why I feel very strange when people let me into like their sort of isolated parts of their, not isolated, but those little closed off parts of their lives, because I feel like I'm intruding. Like I have a massive I always feel like I'm an intruder in something, and then I just feel very uncomfortable, and then it can get really bad quite quickly. I just wondered if anyone else kind of felt like that. And the thing with missing people is, I mean, because I boarded as well, it's very strange, because then I always had my group of friends with me. We lived together. And then it's this weird thing of then when you're sort of not torn apart, not quite so dramatically, but when you are so separated from everyone, and then you realise like the five of you are you're not just in different you're not just in different like towns, you're in different freaking countries, and it's like, which is very weird if you're boarding, because obviously you're always like so together, and then you realise your friends actually live in different continents, and you're like, wait for a moment. It was always very strange between myself and Chris, because our boarding houses were like, it was like a 5-minute walk. But then like when we're at home, we're like, we actually live in different countries. It was just something very strange, and like especially now, again being removed from this little universe that's like this little bubble into like another bubble of like my sort of London sort of life now, and it's just, even though these bubbles now do actually start intersecting a lot more, it's still really weird. I thought this was about missing people. But when it comes to myself personally missing people, I was trying to explain this to a friend earlier, like it's as if I'm so used to always somebody being missing to myself that I almost stop missing people, because it's a feeling that I'm so accustomed to. So I find it very strange if I do get upset about, like I never really get upset about missing somebody, and I've never actually missed someone and then not been able to see them again. It hasn't happened to me yet, so I'm just a little bit wary of that. But something a different friend mentioned was when you're missing somebody, like you kind of are but you're not, but it's the kind of person you almost don't have like a right to miss, as in like it's somebody you saw around and somebody you like to hang out with, but like you were never particularly friends with them. But like people you miss sort of having in your environment. Like you would never ring them up and be like, let's go get coffee, and you would never make an effort to see them, but it was just you miss kind of having these people around you for whatever reason. And I kind of thought that was quite a good point, because I realised I do that as well. You don't really realise how much you kind of enjoyed having that person around until they're gone. I always find it quite strange when you become really good friends with people, like the friends I made over camp like 2 years ago. It's just really nice when you see them around on social media and you're like liking their Instagrams, and then like you see them like yours back. Like even though it's a small gesture, like when my mum asked me like, Emma, are you keeping up with so-and-so from so and where? And I always say, oh, we like each other's photos on Instagram. It's this like small interaction of being like, hi, But I just also find it very interesting when you have like a best friend or a boyfriend that then you are separated by quite a long distance and a long time. But it's interesting when you sort of not lose, but the people who really helped make you who you are suddenly aren't actively in your life anymore. It sucks. And I just think I'm so used to those people coming in and out of my life that, yeah, but I'm not really, not that I'm not sure how to miss people, but I'm not sure what it I'm not sure what it really feels like when you really, really miss someone. Just because that's a feeling that I am, like I said, really accustomed to. But I think because I am so used to people coming in and out of my life so much, that the friendships I choose and then make an effort to sustain are ones that are kind of low maintenance friendships. Like, I think I've said this before, myself and Georgia, like we probably won't text each other for like a month, but then we'll text, meet up, and then spend like hours upon hours upon hours just talking, and it's like nothing's changed. That's why I value those kind of friendships above anything, like low maintenance friendships where you and that person just click more than anything. About it's like no time has passed at all. So to summarise, I'm actually very used to missing people and having people come in and out of my lives, but I think that's really shaped the people who I then value my friendships with the most, and I make an effort towards those friendships and those relationships. And I realise that is, I think, the one definite constant between all of my relationships is that the people I let into my life are the ones I know that if they leave, they will come back and it's almost as if nothing has changed. And I feel like the people then I gravitate towards are people who have had similar experiences like that, and they can then understand the way I feel, and chances is they feel the same way. Yeah, I think those are my thoughts. Obviously not that I never miss someone, because I don't know where this video is going, I don't know how to wrap it up, so I'm just gonna leave it here. Leave me your thoughts below on missing people, and especially if you've had any experiences kind of similar to this. And then if you've ever, like, I don't know, if you've ever gone to boarding school, because I feel like that really shaped me. If you have family who lives in different countries, if you have long distance friendship, long distance relationship, happening, so yeah. Like this video if you can #KitsRelate. Why is that not becoming my outro? Subscribe if you haven't already, you'll get a notification when I make new videos. Yeah. Bye. Mwah. Bear with, I had no plans, so I don't know where this is going. I just think it's quite strange and oh god, right, like with somebody watching me talk to a camera, this is so awkward. I've walked away now, that was uncomfortable.